The day began like any other, but before anyone could finish their morning routine, the sky changed without warning people across Earth, stopped in confusion as the blue above them turned to deep black. It was not night, there were no stars, no moon, no sun, nothing at all. Just a crushing darkness that seemed to swallow the world. The power grids failed in every city. The internet died. Cell phones became useless, and even the emergency radios went silent. No one could explain what was happening. Cars crashed in the streets, planes were forced to make emergency landings, and people screamed in fear. Then after exactly 3 minutes, the darkness lifted, the sky returned to normal, but the fear did not fade. In its place came a sound that no human had ever heard before. It was not coming from a speaker or a television. It was inside their heads. A voice speaking in every human language at the same time. It was cold and without emotion. Humanity, your crimes are too many. You have been judged. The galaxy turns against you. You have 3 hours to surrender if you wish to live. Before anyone could react, the first alien ships appeared in the sky. They came without warning, huge black silhouettes sliding down through the clouds. Their shapes were like nothing ever seen before. Some were smooth like metal whales. Others looked like spiked blades and floating fortresses. One by one, they spread out across the skies above every major city, their engines glowing like dying stars. There was no attack, not yet, but everyone could feel it was coming. The ship simply hovered in silence, watching below like hunters waiting for the right moment. Satellites captured more and more shapes, appearing in orbit around Earth, hundreds of them then. Thousands. The news tried to keep up, but the stations were quickly jammed, showing only static and symbols. No one could understand. The fleets did not belong to one alien race. There were dozens of different ships, each with strange markings glowing. Symbols and weapons no human could identify. They were working together, or so it seemed from the ground inside, a hidden bunker far beneath the mountains. Admiral Cole stood over a table filled with holographic maps. His officers were giving reports. The blockade was complete. Nothing in or out Earth was trapped. Cole listened without showing emotion, but inside he knew what this meant. They had been preparing for this moment for decades. After the first signs of alien spying, humanity had built secret defenses hidden far from the eyes of the public. Deep underwater cities, converted into shipyards, asteroid fields hiding stealth cruisers, defense cannons disguised as junk satellites. Now all of it would be tested. While the alien voice continued to echo in the minds of every human, Cole turned to the men and women in the room. Activate Project Vengeance, he said. They moved without question, far above in the black void between planets. The alien fleets shifted position, massive flagships moving into formation. Their weapons glowed, but still no shots were fired. Unknown to them, a small swarm of black drones, shaped like jagged shards of rock, had already slipped past the blockade. They were human-made, fast, invisible, and carrying something far more dangerous than missiles. Inside them was a code, a virus designed by Echo 7, an artificial intelligence hidden deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean. It could hack alien systems faster than light, and it was already working its way through their networks. But Cole knew this was just the beginning. Earth could not simply defend it, would have to strike back hard. Enough to make the galaxy regret ever coming here. As the 3-hour deadline ticked down, the aliens sent another message: lay down your weapons and you may survive. Refuse, and you will be erased from existence. Cole watched the timer count down in his mind. Then he gave his final order to his officers. Send our own message. Tell them we do not surrender. Tell them we are coming. For them, the room went silent for a moment. Then the work began. The war for Earth had started, but no one knew that before it ended, the war would no longer be about defending Earth. It would be about hunting every last one of them down until the stars themselves feared humanity. Admiral Cole stood in the command center, deep underground, feeling the weight of the world pressing on his shoulders. The alien blockade above was vast and terrifying, but he knew appearances could be deceiving. The alien fleet was massive, but it was also fragile. It was made of dozens of different species, each with their own ships, their own weapons, and their own grudges against one another. If humanity could survive the first blow, they could tear the alliance apart. Cole's voice cut through the tense air. Bring up the shipyard feeds. Giant screens flickered to life, showing places the public did not know existed hundreds of meters beneath the ocean's surface. Vast hangars glowed with blue lights warships. Long and sleek emerged from dry docks crew members in pressure suits. Rushed to load weapons supplies and fuel, while massive submarines lifted them toward hidden launch tunnels elsewhere, far out in the asteroid belt. Black shapes drifted silently. Among the rocks, these were stealth cruisers. Their surfaces coated with light-bending material, they were invisible to alien sensors and armed. With railguns that could punch through any shield, no one on Earth had ever seen them because they had never been needed until now. The crown jewel of their defense was Echo 7. The artificial intelligence that had been watching and learning for years, waiting for the day it would be unleashed. Its mind was faster than any computer in the galaxy. Its purpose was simple: break the enemy before they could fire a shot in the shadows of the control room. Technicians linked Echo 7 to the swarm of drones. Already moving inside the alien fleet, the AI's voice was calm, almost gentle. "I have their language. I have their systems. Give me time." Cole gave a sharp nod. Time is the one thing we don't have. While the hacking operation began, Earth prepared for its first move. Defense platforms disguised as dead satellites came alive, their panels unfolding into massive energy cannons. Old space stations, long abandoned, lit up with power, their real purpose revealed as missile silos. Alien ships in high orbit didn't notice at first. They were too busy moving into position for their own attack. But the humans were watching everything, and they saw something strange in the alien formations. Some ships were holding back, staying at the edges as if reluctant to be there. A young officer leaned toward Cole. "Sir, look at sectors 9 and 11. Those ships aren't aligning with the others." Cole studied the readouts. Those ships weren't enemies by choice. They were being forced into the alliance. It was a dangerous opportunity. If humans could reach them, they might find allies among their enemies. Before anyone could act, a sudden tremor ran through the bunker. The aliens had fired the first test shot. A beam of green light tore through the upper atmosphere, narrowly missing a human defense platform. The heat and energy readings were off the scale. Cole didn't flinch. He simply looked to his officers. Begin Phase 1. Small black dots launched from hidden silos beneath the oceans. They rose into the atmosphere, then vanished from every radar in the world. They were on their way to meet the enemy far above them. The alien armada still believed they had trapped a weak and frightened world. They didn't know that humanity had teeth sharper than any they had ever faced. They didn't know that the humans weren't just planning to survive. They were planning to make sure the galaxy would never again dare to unite against Earth. Far above the planet, in the cold darkness between Earth and the moon, the swarm of human drones reached their targets. They moved like shadows between the massive alien ships, invisible to every scanner. Each one carried no explosives, no visible weapons, only a single payload: the Echo 7 code. When the first drone latched onto the hull of a towering alien dreadnought, its skin seemed to melt into the metal seconds. Later, the alien ship's lights flickered, then went dark. The crew inside scrambled in confusion, thinking it was a power failure, but before they could respond, the virus spread through their systems, locking controls, freezing weapons, and killing engines. In less than a minute, the dreadnought was dead in space. The same thing happened. Two more ships, their massive frames drifting powerless among the stars. Panic rippled through the alien armada. This was not supposed to be possible. Human technology was considered primitive compared to theirs, yet somehow they're most advanced. Warships had been taken without a single shot fired. Alien commanders shouted over comms, accusing each other of sabotage. A ship belonging to the Varick species opened fire on a neighbor, claiming it had planted spies aboard. The alliance was already beginning to crack far below on Earth. The alien voice returned to every human mind: "Surrender now, and we will spare those who kneel." But Cole was ready. He ordered the response to be broadcast on every frequency in every language. His voice was cold, steady, and without fear. "You started this war. We will finish it. None of you will escape." The message played not just to the aliens, but to the entire galaxy. Every listening post, every outpost, every colony that could hear it. Soon, the word spread like wildfire across the stars. In the command center, a captured alien was brought before Cole. Its scales were cracked from battle, its breathing labored. Spoke in a trembling voice: "They will not stop. They fear you because you grow too fast, because you are unpredictable, because you will not obey." Cole leaned forward. Why did they unite now? The alien looked away. They did not unite willingly, a council forced us all into this war. Those who refused were threatened with extinction. Cole understood. Instantly, this was the weakness he needed to exploit. If he could break the council's control, the fleets would tear each other apart as the prisoner was taken away. Cole gave new orders to Echo 7: spread the right lies, make them believe they have traitors in their own ranks. The AI's voice was almost amused. Understood, Admiral. Above the Earth, the alien armada began to shift formations, warships moving away from one another, suspicion rising faster than any weapon could destroy them. What had started as a united blockade was slowly turning into a battlefield waiting to explode. Deco 7 worked like a silent ghost inside the alien networks, slipping from ship to ship, rewriting orders, changing coordinates, altering sensor data. One fleet received a message claiming their supply ships had been destroyed by supposed allies. Another was sent falsified battle footage showing one species firing on another within minutes. The tension inside the armada turned into open hostility. Alien captains shouted, overcomes their voices sharp with suspicion. Weapons began to power up, not toward Earth, but toward their neighbors. Cole watched the chaos unfold on the tactical screens, lines of red flaring between ships as the first shots were exchanged. Massive energy blasts lit up the darkness as two fleets collided, their shields flaring bright before breaking under the assault. Humans did not wait to take advantage. Stealth cruisers hidden in the asteroid belt began striking enemy supply lines. Railgun slugs, moving faster than thought, punched through fuel carriers and ammunition transports, leaving the ships crippled and drifting with no resupply. The aliens tried to regroup, but every attempt was intercepted, their messages twisted by Echo 7 into orders that led them into human traps above the planet. The disguised orbital cannons came alive. Beams of white light lanced upward, obliterating any ship that tried to escape the growing battle. Order: deploy the hunters from hidden bays in low orbit. A squadron of black ships streaked into space, their hulls absorbing every trace of light. They moved into the chaos undetected, targeting the most dangerous enemy commanders. Each strike was quick and merciless, leaving shattered flagships tumbling through the void. Yet even in the middle of the destruction, a larger threat approached from deep space: the alien super dreadnought known as the Judicator. Its black armor bristled with weapons larger than any human warship could carry. It ignored the growing infighting around it, pushing straight toward Earth as if determined to end the war in one decisive blow. Cole studied it for a long moment, his voice steady. Set the trap, make sure it never reaches firing range. Across the dark horizon of space, hidden minds began to wake, silent and waiting for their prey. The Judicator moved through space like a black mountain with engines, its vast armored hull blotting out the stars behind it. Even the chaos of the alien fleets tearing each other apart did not slow its approach. Its mission was simple: break through all resistance and destroy Earth in a single decisive strike. Alien commanders aboard the super dreadnought spoke in clipped voices, confident that no human weapon could pierce its shields. No one had ever stopped the Judicator in battle, and they believed today would be no different. Deep underground in the Earth's command bunker, Admiral Cole stood at the center of the war room, staring at the tactical map. The glowing red marker representing the Judicator crept closer to the planet. Every hidden weapon system along its projected path had already been powered up and armed. Cole's voice was calm, but carried a weight that made every officer stand straighter. Make sure the trap is ready. There will be no second chance. Technicians confirmed. Each stage of the plan: minefields, armed energy lances charged, stealth fleets in position. The moment the Judicator entered the kill zone, there would be no turning back. High above the planet in the silent black, the first stage began. Invisible mines, shaped like fragments of rock, floated along the Judicator's path, their surfaces coated to match the darkness of space. The super dreadnought's massive sensors swept past them without detection. When the first mine latched onto the hull, there was no warning, only a blinding burst of light as the shaped charge tore through layers of armor. The ship shuddered under the blow, but kept moving its shields, flaring bright to absorb the damage. The alien crew reported hull breaches, but their commanders ordered full speed. The humans were fighting for their world, but the Judicator was built to crush worlds. The second wave hit seconds later, an electromagnetic blast so strong It rippled across space itself, the Judicator's weapon systems. Went dark, massive railguns powered down. Targeting arrays flickered, the ship slowed as control systems fought to reboot. Still, the aliens pressed forward, determined to close the distance and fire their main weapon before Earth could strike again. But Cole had been waiting for this exact moment, hidden far above the planet. 3 disguised orbital stations came alive, massive panels, unfolding to reveal long spears of glowing energy lances, each beam fired with pinpoint precision, striking the Judicators. Flanks molten metal sprayed into the void as the superheated plasma cut deep into the armor. One of the engines exploded, sending the ship into a slow spin. The crew scrambled to stabilize it, but the blows kept coming. Railgun slugs from hidden satellites slammed into weak points, cracking the hull open like glass under a hammer thin. The final stage began. From the shadows between the alien fleet's black shapes emerged the Ghost Fleet. Their ships, almost impossible to see, even at close range they moved, like predators, through water slipping between wreckage and enemy. Formations to reach the crippled super dreadnought. Without a single word, the Ghost Fleet opened. Fire railguns tore through the weakened armor, each shot carefully aimed to hit vital systems. One slug found the power core. The explosion was instant, and terrible fire burst from the Judicator center and raced along its spine. Secondary explosions tore away entire sections of the ship until it broke into massive pieces, drifting apart in the darkness. Emergency beacons flashed across the wreck. Alien survivors sent desperate transmissions pleading for mercy, promising surrender if they were spared. But Admiral Cole's voice came over every channel, cold, and final mercy ended. The moment you came for our world, the signals from the survivors went silent one by one as the debris field drifted lifeless in orbit. News of the Judicator's destruction spread through the galaxy faster than light. The ship had been the pride of the Council's war machine, feared by every species, and now it was nothing but scrap drifting above a planet they had failed to break on distant colonies. Alien leaders stared at the reports in disbelief. The humans had done the impossible, and they had done it with precision and ruthlessness that no one expected. But Cole was not finished. The destruction of the Judicator was not the end of the war. It was the beginning of a new phase already. The Ghost Fleet had been given new orders. They were to move beyond the blockade into alien space, striking not just military targets, but the infrastructure that made their enemies strong supply stations. Refineries, shipyards, communications relays, all would be erased without warning. Alien worlds that had once cheered the attack on Earth now found themselves waking to empty skies. Their fleets gone, their cities darkened, entire fleets vanished. Without debris, colonies were left abandoned, as if no one had ever lived there. The message was clear, and it spread faster than any weapon there was. No safety, no border far enough to protect those who had taken part in the attack. Earth was no longer defending itself, it was hunting, and the galaxy was beginning to understand what that truly meant. No matter how far they ran, no matter how deep they hid, humanity would find them, and when it did, there would be no escape. The alien alliance was shattered. Fleets that once circled Earth in proud formation now floated broken across the stars. Some tried to retreat, others hid in distant systems, but nowhere was safe. The destruction of the Judicator had been the death blow to their unity. Now the galaxy knew what humanity was capable of, and fear began to spread faster than any fleet could travel yet. Admiral Cole did not slow. The war was not over until every hand that had been raised against Earth was gone forever. From the command bunker deep beneath the mountains, Cole's eyes stayed fixed on the galaxy map, glowing with hundreds of red markers. Each one an enemy base, a shipyard, a colony that had given ships or weapons to the Council. Now, the red markers were being replaced with black one by one as the Ghost Fleet carried out its orders. The black ships moved in total silence across alien space, leaving no trails. Their weapons fired without warning, their strikes so precise that entire cities vanished. In seconds, leaving only empty ruins drifting in the dark on the outer rim of alien territory. A supply station was preparing to send fuel to what remained of the Council's fleets before the shipment could launch. A single pulse of light flashed across the system. Moments later, the station was gone, reduced to a cloud of burning fragments that scattered like dust. A listening post caught the strike on long-range sensors. The recording spread quickly through alien space, showing that even far from human borders, there was no safety. Some alien worlds tried to surrender, sending messages, begging for peace, offering resources and technology in exchange for survival. Cole refused every offer. His answer was always the same: there is no peace. With those who tried to destroy us, each refusal sent shockwaves through the political networks of the galaxy. But it also made the fear grow deeper. The war was no longer about territory or even survival. It was a lesson, a warning that would be remembered for centuries. Hurt Earth, and the response would not stop until the enemy no longer existed. The remnants of the Council tried to gather their last ships in a hidden system far beyond known trade routes. It was a place they believed humans could not find, but Echo 7 was always listening, always searching the AI. Intercepted faint transmissions traced them across the void, found the hidden fleet within hours. The ghost fleet was in position. The attack began with railgun strikes that tore through the enemy's outer defenses. Then came waves of plasma fire lighting the blackness like sunrise. The Council ships fought desperately, but one by one they were picked apart until the survivors were trapped against the dead star at the system's center. With nowhere to run, Cole's orders came through clear and cold: destroy them all. The final minutes of the battle were silent, except for the flash of weapons across the void. When it was over, nothing remained but drifting metal and cooling wreckage. No escape pods, no distress signals, no survivors. It was the end of the Council, and with it the last organized resistance against Earth. Across the galaxy, alien leaders held emergency meetings in secret chambers. Some called for a permanent treaty, others demanded military buildup, but all of them understood the truth. Earth now stood as the most dangerous power in known space. Trade routes shifted overnight to avoid human sectors. Warlords, who once raided human colonies, now sent tribute instead. Even the most hostile species kept their borders quiet and Earth. The skies were calm, the cities untouched. Life for the civilians began to return to normal, but the military remained on alert. The fleets were kept armed and ready. The ghost fleet still moved through the darkness beyond human territory, hunting the last stragglers who thought they could disappear into uncharted systems. Cole knew better than to believe the war was truly finished. There would always be those who saw humanity's rise as a threat. One day they would try again, and when that day came, Earth would be ready. In the final broadcast of the war, Cole stood before the camera, his face lit by the cold glow of tactical screens. His voice carried across every frequency, every channel that could reach the stars: if you ever come for us again, there will be no galaxy left to save you. The message played in every alien language. It was recorded in every archive. The silence that followed was heavier than any applause. When the fleets returned home, there were no parades, no celebrations, only a quiet understanding among those who had fought. They had not just defended Earth, they had changed its place in the universe forever. From that day forward, the stars would remember what happened to those who turned against humanity, and none would dare make the same mistake twice.